Here Augustine concerns himself with the nature of the first man. Why? If the first man was created wise, then how could he disobey? No wise man would be seduced by a serpent for knowledge. If he was created foolish, wouldn't this transfer punishment and sin back to God? Wouldn't God be culpable for creating such an easily deceived being? Augustine thinks that man in his Edenic state occupied a region between wisdom and folly. So what does that mean? Since man was not wise yet in the garden, he could not attain wisdom or react against it and become foolish. This shouldn't be too strange to us. Infants are in the same boat. They don't know wisdom yet. Therefore, it is silly to call an infant wise or foolish. But more on this intermediate state. What is it? In this intermediate state, man devoid of wisdom could still be rational in some sense. Rational enough to receive a command from God and will to obey it or disobey it and take up the serpent's offer. So it looks like Augustine is saying, in the garden we are both free and rational, but not wise. Is that a problem? Can we have rational natures and not be wise? If we disobey due to our ignorance, does that really justify the punishment God exacted upon Adam and all subsequent generations? I'm going to come back to this because Augustine has some more explication of his view to do. What's interesting to note on Augustine's view of Adam is that we would have been rewarded with wisdom had Adam just kept the commandment. I'm not sure why that follows. It's also interesting to note that man may have been made wise by partaking in the fruit. Augustine doesn't say that man was made wise in disobedience, but it is worth considering. Man did receive the knowledge of good and evil from the fruit. Okay, so let's revisit our questions. First, can we be rational and free and not wise? That seems possible. Children are unwise and are free and rational, sort of. Second, did the punishment fit the crime? If Adam and Eve were essentially children, did they and the whole human race deserve the punishment doled out? When a child is disobedient, we typically don't apply over-the-top punishments. We deprive them of a toy or ground them or something mild. Perhaps this punishment that God has imposed upon Adam and his descendants is pretty mild. Maybe we're just a bunch of grounded teenagers. Not sure if it's the route I would have gone, but who am I to contest cosmic justice? Thirdly, what about the idea that Adam would have been made wise in time had he kept the commandment? I'm not sure where Augustine is getting this from. Does he mean that Adam and Eve would have matured and his rational nature would allow for him to discern God's commands better in time? At what point would God have made Adam wise for keeping the commandment? After resisting Eve and the serpent? 500 years after the proclamation? I wish Augustine elaborated on this idea a little more. Lastly, did the serpent deliver wisdom with his temptation? Man, that's a tough one. Wisdom, if I can properly recall, is something the human intellect partakes in when it reasons, not something we passively consume and are granted with, like a potion or limitless pill. I'm not going to go much further down this rabbit hole because I don't think the terms are defined well enough for it to be fruitful. See what I did there? I said fruitful, fruit. No. Okay, bye.